Hey everybody. So I promised a little bit of a video on how to do knife cuts. We're not going to get into specifics on what the proper French terms are. You'll hear me bandy about terms like chiffonade or bâtonnet or brunoise or dice or things like that. And I'll explain what they are, but it's not the focus, okay? The focus of this is for you to use a knife and to be safe. And that's 99% of what you need to do at home. Unless you're working in a kitchen, you don't need this. Okay? It's just to keep you safe. All right, so I'm going to set up my phone here down on the board and we'll show you a few things. Okay, like that. How's that? So you can actually see the cutting board. I have an onion on the cutting board. So we cut off the front end, the top end, then we cut off the root end and peeled it. Now this is done specifically so you can see how I place my fingers. Now this is a French knife. Okay, that's all it is. It's just a chef's knife or a French knife. Nothing special about it. Tang goes almost all the way through. I do advocate a tang going all the way through. But it needs to be comfortable in your hand. I've had this knife since culinary school, back in 1985. Okay, so no big deal. It's comfortable for me. I like using it. The goal, let me get the angle right here, is you want, if you can see the here, where the knuckle of my index finger is right up against the knife blade. And for the almost the entire time you're going to see, my finger never leaves that knife blade. Why? Because I always know where the knife blade is if my fingers are out of the way. If you notice here, my thumb is kind of poked out, which isn't great. You kind of want it tucked in. So you kind of want it everything in like this, almost like a claw. And whether you use this knife, well, this knuckle, or this knuckle, it doesn't matter. Okay? You notice how I'm way choked up on the knife? That's how I was taught to use a knife. Technically, you should use the knife back in its handle the way it's held, like this, okay? But with your finger kind of wrapped over the top. If you can see, right here, there are calluses. That comes from using a knife for close to 40 years in food service and hunching up on that knife, okay? It's just how I work. So anyways, we're gonna go, let me get this right here. Here we go. So again, we're gonna go down like that. My finger never left. Now we can do this. Again, you're looking and seeing my finger never leave that knife, okay? Now, a lot of people advocate leaving the root end on and turning it and cutting it this way a few times and then doing it, and it's voila, it's diced. I don't like that. It just doesn't work for me. I think it's messy and I lose track of where my knife is and where the blade is, so I don't like that. So what I did is I cut it into small strips, as you can see, okay? And then we're just gonna bunch it all together. And again, if you look, my finger is right there, okay? You can cut fast, you can cut slow. It doesn't matter. You can use a big knife, you can use a small knife. Again, it doesn't matter. I had conversations with some of my daughter's friends this past, not this weekend, but the weekend before. She graduated from college. Yay, Becky. Was very ecstatic and happy about that. But two different friends asked about, one asked which knife to use, and the other one asked, how do you pick out a good knife? And I told them it all comes down to what you're comfortable using. Period. That's the only caveat that you need. What are you comfortable using? Are you have greater wrist strength and arm strength that you can use a heavier knife to give you more more go to get through that, more oomph, if you would, to get through the whatever it is you're cutting? Or do you need something lighter? You need something smaller, you need something bigger. My wife and I always advocate, if you're buying knives, make sure you can have them in your hands. Try them in your hands, okay? See how they feel. Same with pots and pans, folks. If you're using them every day, or say you're buying them as a wedding gift, but you're buying them for, not to stereotype, because I hate that, but say the bride is in the kitchen and she's 130 pounds soaking wet, skinny as a rail, can barely pick up a pot. Guess what? You don't want to get really heavy gauge pans, because they're not going to want to cook because they can't use the equipment. So anyways, again, carrots, same deal. Now this, we're cutting brunoise. You see my fingers aren't right at the end, but they were very much in control of how I was cutting that vegetable. So to cut brunoise, we do that. We cut it into small sticks. So we cut it into matchstick. Okay. Because we're making soup. We're making a turkey soup from that turkey stock we made the other day. Actually, yesterday. So, this is brunoise. Brunoise technically is 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch. We're close. Is it perfect? By no means. Guess what, folks? I'm not a perfect human being. I have my faults just like everybody else on this god green earth. However, I like to think I can cook. The things that I make tend to be tasty. So we got some onion, we got some carrots, celery. Again, I'm going to cut it down. Now celery's a little easier because you can see you've got the ribs, okay? You got those lines. Once you wash your celery, and again, wash all your food, people. There is so many forms of foodborne disease that are derived from the dirt. So you need to wash and rinse your food, okay, before you start working it. So this is celery. Celery's grown right up out of the dirt. Now again, I can, having done it as long as I have, I can cut it faster, okay? I'm not telling you to cut it fast. I'm telling you to cut it safely. That's the only thing I want from you, okay? And you can see my fingers aren't anywhere near that blade right now, because I'm trying to hold all those strands together. So what I would advocate for you as the starter, don't cut so much at once. Okay? Don't cut so much at once. The next item is garlic. Okay? Real simple. It's peeled. Smash it. Smash it. Smash it. Boom. We take it. And again, my fingers are right up next to that blade. Unless my fingers going up on top like this. Okay? So there we go. Onion, celery, garlic. If you're making soup, mirepoix is what is known as the base for all soups. Okay? We're going to flip that around. Mirepoix is the, oops, I don't even remember how I had it. Mirepoix is the, here we go. Sorry about that, folks. So mirepoix, onion, celery, carrots. Typically 1 part celery, 1 part carrot, 2 parts onion. Okay? We talked about that with the stock yesterday. But for soup, it's specific. If you're making a basic soup, you want everything to fit on the spoon. So as you make your soup and when you scoop in, you want everybody to have everything that's on the spoon. Okay? So a little knife work and some soup, and we'll talk to y'all later. Any questions or concerns, or you want me to fine-tune some things, drop it in the commentary section. I appreciate y'all. Take care. Bye-bye.